Hey guys, Sam March here. In today's video, I'm basically just going to be telling you guys everything I learned about sales in the last year and a half of actually doing high ticket sales and trying to sell high ticket for my company. Okay, so there's a key thing to keep in mind here, right? Now, when you first start out in sales, and if you're starting an agency or an SMMA and you're first starting out in sales, you're not going to be good. Okay, there is no way you can be good on your first sales call, and it's going to be nerve-wracking, it's going to be daunting, and it's going to be like your heart's going to be beating out of your chest. But it's important just to remember that it's just a part of the process. And I mean, it's like the first time you go to the gym, you don't even know what you're doing, you don't even know how to lift weights, you don't even know form or what the fuck's going on. But go to the gym 1,000 times and you know every single exercise and you know exactly what to do and your correct form and all of that. So it's simply just a case of iteration and just keeping at it. Okay, so just a little bit of backstory. My first sales meeting was an absolute shit show. Okay, I traveled like 2 hours to meet this guy at a cafe, and I literally built this pitch the night before, wrote script, memorized the whole script because it was in person, went to this cafe. This guy gave me like 20 minutes of his time, and I just tried my best to sell him like something for like $200 a month. And he said, "I'll think about it." And I said, "Okay." And he left, and I never heard from him again. So that's where I was at when I started. All right. And I mean, I've got some things on my notepad here that I'm going to run you guys through. The things I learned from that first sales call, that first sales meeting to now. And now I hop on a sales meeting or a sales call, and I just, make sure they're a perfect fit. And if they're a perfect fit, they'll join the program because it's a good fit for them. And why wouldn't they join? Because I'm going to change their life anyway, right? So there's a lot of things that I learned in this journey, all right? And just to give you guys a bit of a picture of where I was at when I started, I was absolute a shit show, okay? And now I consider myself all right. I mean, I'm not the best. I could definitely be better, but I wouldn't say I'm the worst. And I mean, give me another couple years and I'll probably be the best salesman known to man. All right, so the first thing you guys need to understand is the worst that your prospect can say is no, okay? No matter what happens, no matter how the call or the meeting goes, the worst thing that can happen is they say no and you hop off the call, okay? You hop off the call and you stop talking to them, and that's the worst thing that can happen, all right? So literally just go through that knowing that worst case, the only thing that's gonna happen is they're gonna say no, they're gonna hop off the call or leave the meeting, and you're in no better position as you were before the meeting, all right? You still didn't sign them, but you gave it your best try. All right, so that's just key thing to, calm the nerves. The worst they can say is no. And you also need to understand that not everyone is a good fit. So when I first started my sales journey, I would try to sign every single client that I hopped on a call with, and I would just try to sign them. Now, this really came back to bite me in the future because I was signing clients that weren't even a good fit for our program, all right? And that just means we're gonna get a bad client and we're not really gonna be able to help them out. So it's just important to remember not everyone is a good fit, all right? So it can be a bit difficult to think about this when you're first starting out, and if you need money and if you just want a client so badly, you're gonna try and sign every single client that you get on the phone, all right? But if someone doesn't buy, at the end of the day, if they're not a good fit, then it's completely fine, all right? You're not gonna be able to close every single call you take, and it's not that deep, all right? So just keep that in mind. Not everyone's a good fit. Some people will hop on a call with you and just be so rude, but that's fine because they're probably not a good fit for your program if they're a dickhead anyway. So just keep that in mind, all right? And then the complete opposite to that is you're gonna get some calls. If you guys just take calls and just try your best every single day and just try and take as many sales calls as you can and sign the right people into whatever you're selling, you're gonna get some people that just give you their money. They're gonna be the easiest sales. I would say this is probably maybe 3 out of 100, okay? But if you take 100 sales calls, you're gonna get 3 prospects that are just gonna be like, yep, I want this, boom, here you go, and pay you. And it's gonna be the easiest sales call of your life, and you're gonna be like, wow, that was fucking easy. Why can't I get that person all the time? All right. So some people will just be so easy and just be in so much pain that they need whatever you're selling, and they'll just pay you whatever you ask them. All right. So just keep trotting along, keep trying, and keep making iterations and improving your sales techniques. But know that you're going to get some calls, and once you get these calls, you're going to understand what I'm saying. But some people will honestly just say, yes, here you go, and pay you and sign up. All right. So you got to keep working for these though. You don't get these every single time. And the only way you're going to get a situation like this is if you keep working, and if you keep making more and more calls, eventually you're going to get someone that's just going to want to give you the money. All right. And the next point is literally in sales. The key thing about sales is, first of all, it's just a conversation. Okay. Like a lot of people overthink this and think, oh, I got to sell this person. I need to convince them to buy what I'm selling, and, you know, just try my hardest to convince them. But at the end of the day, you're really just having a conversation, and they're going to be talking about their problems and their pain points. And if you have a product that can solve that pain and that problem, then they're going to end up buying. But it all just starts off with you talking to them about what their issues are and if you can potentially even help them in the first place, right? But the key thing is to just let them do all the talking, all right? So it's kind of like, you don't want to oversell, and you have to picture it as if like you were in a room with a therapist. All right. Now, I've never been to therapy, but the way I assume it is that I don't think the therapist is doing all the talking and just yapping all day. All right. They're going to let their client, the person that has the pain, talk, and they're just going to listen and take notes. And this is what you need to do. You need to ask probing questions to your prospect to try to get them to talk about their pain points and what they're struggling with, and then you just need to listen and take notes. There is no need for you to keep on talking. If you guys talk too much, then you're literally going to lose the sale just because you're trying to oversell it, and they're going to be like, why is this guy so needy for this sale, right? But if you're just laid back and listening to your prospect, okay, let them do the talking and you're just taking the notes, they're going to feel like you understand them, and they're going to buy. And that's another thing. People buy off people that they think understand them, right? So as long as your prospect can feel that you understand what they're going through, then they're going to buy off you. So the key thing to do here is let them do the talking and just try your best to understand them. Because if you understand them, then they're going to see that and they're going to be like, all right, this guy gets me. He's going to be able to help me out here. Take my money. Here you go. So the key is to literally just try your best to understand the prospect in this conversation, okay? The better you can understand them and the better they can feel that you understand them, the more likely is that call is going to close, okay? So that is a very important point. Simply just, especially when telling your price, all right? When telling your price, tell them the price and just shut up and don't say anything, because after you tell them the price, if they are genuinely interested and they're not just price shopping, there is going to be probably a minute of silence, all right, if you're selling high ticket especially. There's going to be a minute of silence and they're just going to be pondering, just be like, you know, they're just going to be thinking. They're just going to be sitting there and they're going to be thinking about, okay, can I make this work? Can I put money in this account and make it work? In this period of them thinking, you do not want to say one single thing, okay? If you say anything after you tell them the price and they're thinking about how they can, you know, move money around, or I can take money out of this, okay, I can stop paying this, and you know what I mean? If you say anything in that process, it's going to ruin their train of thought, and they could have been like 3 seconds away from saying, all right, let's do it, but now you've just jumped in, ruined that train of thought, and you're probably making it harder for yourself, all right? You need to sit in silence. Let the awkwardness build. Now, obviously, you don't want it to be too awkward, right? But if it's a case of just thinking and just letting them think to get more information out of them, then there is no need for you to talk, right? So if you ask a question and you say, you know, what's stopping you from doing this on your own, all right? And they give you an answer, okay? They say, oh, I just don't know how. And you're like, okay. And you sit there in silence. They're going to start giving you more and more information, all right? More and more reason why they need your help. And then boom, that's going to give you everything you need, and they're really going to open up in that period of silence because they want to fill that space with some noise but you're not going to, because you know that you're not going to keep yapping. All right, you need them to do all the talking. You need to be listening. Okay, so that leads us into another point, which is just be direct with your questions and your answers. All right, you don't want to keep yapping. All right, your questions, they don't want to be blunt, because if you give a blunt question, you're going to get a blunt answer. All right, but they need to be direct. They need to be to the point, and they need to be guiding the prospect in a specific way to get a specific answer, right? For example, I mean, sounds like you're doing great, John. You've obviously got this far on your own. What's stopping you from getting to goal by yourself, man? Direct question. Okay? Ask the question and then shut up. Don't keep talking, okay? Have your question that you're going to ask it, and then just stop and wait for them to answer. All right? Another example is like, okay, and I mean, obviously, this is causing some pain, man. How's it actually making you feel? Direct. And then just let them respond and just shut up. Okay? And this is likewise with your answers. When they ask you a question, they're asking you a question now, the first thing you should do is just say, oh, great question, buddy. All right? Then go into your answer, but your answer cannot be waffle. Do not yap and yap. Have your answer, explain the answer, and then just stop. Okay? So if they say, okay, I don't know, how does this work? So, yep, great question, mate. Answer, very to the point, okay? Make it very clear that you're getting to the point, and then you can finish it off with, okay, does that make all sense? Or that's why you never need to worry about this, or that's why you're never gonna have to worry about that again. Okay, so your answer needs to be direct, because if you keep talking, you're just gonna overload their brain. All right, just answer their question and then end it off, and then just wait, silence, until they give you another question, until they speak some more. Okay, and if you talk too much, guys, you're really gonna throw the sale. They need to be doing the talking, and you need to be super direct with how you're replying to their questions. Okay, and the last point I have, guys, is just your fear of confrontation. Now, this is gonna be the only thing stopping you from getting sales. Okay, and it's simply your fear of confrontation, right? It's your fear of causing an argument or spiking someone's nerves, okay? Now, if you're on a sales call and someone says, I need to think about it at the end, you're gonna get this objection all the time. No matter how good you are at sales, you're going to get this objection, I need to think about it, right? There's two ways of going about this. You can either say, okay, go ahead and think about it and let me know, and you're probably never going to close that client ever, okay? Because you're just giving into their bullshit. Or you can confront them about this and really find out what they're trying to think about and why they don't want to move ahead right now, all right? The only thing from stopping you from saying, okay, go ahead and think about it, and confronting this situation is your fear of confrontation. Now, you're going to get this fear with every single person that you hop on a call with, all right? And it's going to be different from prospect to prospect on their demeanor and how they're talking to you and your relationship with them that you've built on that call. But you guys cannot be fearful of confrontation, right? Remember that the worst they can say is no. If you let them go ahead and think about it, they're going to say no. They're not even going to reply to you, right? They're just going to fucking ghost you. So you might as well confront them and try to battle it out on the call to get them to buy on the call, than just being scared and let them off the call because you don't know what to say or you're too scared to call them up on their bullshit. All right? So don't let the fear of confrontation stop you from achieving money and getting to where you want to go, and recognize it. Every time someone says, I need to think about it, and you don't come back with a rebuttal or you don't come back with a question straight away, then that's you being fearful of what they're going to say if you try to call them out on their bullshit. Okay? Now, that's what I really wanted to walk you guys through in this video. I hope you got some value from this, and simply, I hope this helps you improve your sales conversion rate, guys. If you guys want to connect, send me a DM or ask me any questions. My Instagram will be in the description. If you want to leave a comment with a problem that you're having, I would love to make a video on it, and it would make my day. Apart from that, I hope you guys got some value from this video. Peace.